Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Comments and Libations, where I take 10 minutes, give or take, to go through the comments that you've left on my channel and provide some answers while we have a drink together. Today's drink is going to be my take on a whiskey sour. To make this, we're going to use 1 part Resilient Straight Bourbon Whiskey to 2 parts Stirring's Simple Sour Mix. We're going to shake it up over some ice just because I kind of like that cloudy mixture look, and then we're going to garnish it with the maraschino cherry. That's good. Alright, let's get to it. First comment from a video of the ram track mount on the Subaru Crosstrek. From L. Maureen. I like this, but wonder if you could glue this instead of the nut and bolt mounting. I'm checking this out. Thanks. Hey Al, you probably could glue it, but I'm a big fan of mechanical fasteners. The reason I chose to go with bolts and nuts and washers, big washers like fender washers on the underside, was because of the cantilevered weight that you're going to inevitably put on that ram track mount, especially if you're having something overhang that might have some weight to it, like a iPad mini or a phone, or in my case my ham radio, anything like that. Since you've got that cantilevered weight on there, I just don't trust stuff like double-sided tape or glue, especially when you're bouncing along the trails hitting that washboard. It's going to shake loose. I firmly believe that. I've had all sorts of stuff shake loose on me before, and mechanical fasteners bolted right through the plastic. I have not had any problems with it. It doesn't creak, it doesn't click, it doesn't fall. So you can try it. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work, and then you drill holes through it and use bolts and screws and bolts and nuts or whatever. But yeah, that's why I did the way I did. Next comment from Dennis Campbell on my first Chinese diesel heater. Do you have to leave a power source connected to it to make it work, or just to start it up for running? So this thing does not produce its own power. At least none of the diesel heaters that I've purchased produce their own power. You do need a constant 12-volt supply to it, and that's to start it up, and basically as it's running and the combustion cycle is going, to power the fan that blows the air over the heat exchanger that gives you your heat. Power consumption is going to be upwards of about 10 watts-ish, I believe. I'll do another video on that where I actually want to measure it out upon startup, because it's turning on the pump, but the big power hog is going to be the glow plug. So it's heating up, and then once it starts to inject fuel and the combustion cycle gets running, power consumption is much less. It'll last for quite a while, and then finally when you shut it down, power consumption kicks back up, I believe because it goes through a self-cleaning cycle where it turns on the glow plug yet again, probably just to burn off any unburnt fuel, sediment, soot, and whatnot. So yes, short answer, or long answer longer, is you do have to leave a power source connected to it, and the ones that I've purchased so far, it's just a 12-volt power supply. Man, that sour stuff just has me like salivating. It's hard to talk. Next from ADK Man, Chinese diesel heater field test. Great video, just the info I'm looking for. I'm looking at one of these heaters to use instead of my buddy heater. Too much condensation with that. With all the videos I've seen on these heaters, no one has mentioned anything about the condensation. I don't believe there should be any since it's exhausted outside. That's a great point, and to be honest, I've had several buddy heaters that I've used. I've used propane to heat my stuff while camping before, and I ditched that for the diesel heater specifically because of the condensation problems. Now when you think about it, propane is a hydrocarbon, or C3H8 to be exact. That means 3 atoms of carbon, 8 atoms of hydrogen. And when you combine it with oxygen, or 5 parts of O2, and set it on fire, it produces an exothermic reaction along with CO2 and H2O. So burning propane produces carbon dioxide, no surprise there, and H2O, water, or in the form of water vapor. So that's going to produce some condensation. If you're inside the tent and you're burning propane and producing water vapor, it's going to condense on the outer surfaces of your tent because it's probably cold and you're going to get all that water and crap. And if you're like me and doing it in winter, it's just going to freeze and you're going to have a nice sheen of ice on the inside of your tent. So this is why I went with the diesel heater, because you're not burning propane. Yes, you're burning diesel, but it's contained within a combustion chamber, and all the heat is coming from outside air blowing over that heat exchanger, blowing over that combustion chamber and into your area that you're heating. So it's dry heat. So great question. I'm actually surprised other people haven't mentioned water vapor. Perhaps I should have done a better job of that myself. But if you're looking for dry heat, then yeah, I would highly recommend diesel heaters. That's the main reason I went with them. Next by Billy Bob on the Chinese diesel heater. Who's playing the tuba? What the hell's that mean? Is that a meme? Is that like some saying these days? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Nor Tillman, love this guy. Relays, what are they and how do they work? So in this video he comments, Big Bang Theory fan are we? Absolutely. Love that show. My wife and I are actually rewatching it again over dinners the past month or so. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend. At least if you're a dork like I am. Next one on the diesel heater update, install and performance by SuperVits. Great summary of what is clearly some well thought out testing and implementation. What is the name of the air quality monitor that you showed with the screen? That looks cool. I would like to tell you that it was cool, but in fact, SuperViz, it was this one here from this Kupuo Indoor PM 2.5 air quality monitor. It looked good. I believe at the time it had decent ratings. It had more than the 29 that I'm showing you here. It's currently unavailable, but I'll tell you what, this thing shit the bed probably about after 3 months of use. It didn't hold a charge. One of the buttons stopped working. So the bottom line, this thing's a piece of crap. So I didn't put the link on it in my store or on that video just because I was unimpressed with it, and I would not recommend this to anyone. If any of you do find a good air quality meter, especially one that measures also CO2 parts per million, let me know in the comments. I would like to pick one up. Same video by Jeff Casperson. What lav mic are you using? So Jeff, that's a good question. I'm using a variety of lav mics. The one that I was using in this video is from PowerDewise. Just Amazon specials. I'm not an audiophile. I'm not a professional videographer. So it was basically just this guy here. If you're looking it up on Amazon, it's inexpensive. You can see it was like 35 bucks. It's on sale right now, but it has 4.5 stars out of like 13,500 ratings. So I figured, what the heck? And I've been pretty happy with it. In addition to lav mics though, I've actually been recording that into this Tascam DR05X. So this is a separate external audio recorder, has a good high quality audio, so I'll put the lav mic and then just put this thing down to the side, and I'll sync up my video and audio in post-production using Adobe Premiere, which is my main video editing file. Now, in addition to stuff like this, I'm also a big fan of using wireless lav mics, and for that, I'll plug in the exact same lav mic into this set of Rode wireless lav mic transmitters. And these are super handy. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and you don't really need a whole lot of expensive gear. You can actually take this lav mic, plug it into your Android phone or iPhone, use the native audio recording, put that in your pocket, record directly to it, have really good quality audio regardless of where your camera is placed, and then sync the audio and video in post-production, which is quite easy to do. And then you have good video and good audio quality. If any of you are interested in learning more about how I use a variety of gear in these videos, or what I use, let me know in the comments. I've actually kind of been itching to do a video or two on that stuff, but wasn't sure if there was much of an interest. So thanks for the comment. I hope that answers your question, and on to the next one. Cody Woody on the Chinese diesel heater video again. Love your style and presentation, clear, concise, and informative. My only issue is the outro music, but honestly, you do everything else so damn well, so I don't even care. Subbed. Hey Cody, thank you. Yeah, music, I get it. It's very subjective. Some videos that I watch, I dig the music. Other videos, I'm kind of like, you know, why'd you do that? That sucks. For those of you that are interested in the music though, I use a subscription service called Epidemic Sound, and you can go through this. It's a really cool service. I learned about it from other content creators on YouTube. Basically, it's a full library of sound, music, sound effects, and so forth. You can download them, use them in your videos. The subscription gives you the royalty-free use of all this content. And what I like best about Epidemic Sound over a lot of the other offerings that are out there, like Storyblocks or Artlist.io, is that in Epidemic you can parse it out. You can do different streams. So if you download a song and you like only the drum track or the drums and the leads, and you want to drop the vocals, you can download these different pieces of the content and pick and choose what you want to use. So that is why I use that. I get carried away sometimes just listening to the stuff that's on that site, and oftentimes I'll find inspiration by hearing a song and devising a video out of it. So like with the audio stuff, if any of you are interested in learning more about music and how to incorporate into videos, let me know. Happy to show you. I learn from others, and I'll be happy to teach it back, pay it forward. Next one from Douglas Scott on the coolest radio you've probably never heard of. So this only works using an antenna? ? Yes, Douglas. So I mean, as is the nature of radios, it's picking up parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. So you have electromagnetic radiation being transmitted all over the place in the form of radio waves, and in order to pick that up and convert it into voltage that a radio will then read and demodulate into an audio signal, you need an antenna. The antenna's purpose, and those that are electrical engineers or ham radio enthusiasts more so than myself, correct me if I'm wrong or chime in additional details, you need that antenna in order to pick up that radiation, in order to pick up those radio waves and convert it into the electrical voltage necessary in order to run a radio. So, short answer, yes, you do need an antenna in order for that thing to work. First Chinese diesel heater from Gary. Don't leave this man unsupervised. Great things might happen. Thanks, Gary. I'd like to think so, but when unsupervised, a lot of stupid things happen too. I like to say that if it weren't for physics and law enforcement, I'd be unstoppable. I think that's a t-shirt somewhere. And yeah, that's kind of true. But trust me, when I screw up good. My wife and I were recently recollecting when I had built a crate for our puppy. He was getting big and he needed a larger crate. I went all out. I built this thing out of oak dowel rods. It had a heated floor, a really nice door, nice woodworking thing. My dumbass failed to measure all of the interior doorways of the house. So while the thing fit into the main exterior doors, it was too wide to fit into any other room of the house. So we had a choice. It could go in the living room or the kitchen, neither of which were very appealing. So sadly, that thing didn't last too long. Nice piece of work, but yeah, I botched it up. That's what happens when you leave me unsupervised. How about you? What kind of horror stories do any of you have from trying to make something work and then only to realize after the fact that, oops, I buggered it up? Next from T-Bar73 on my first Chinese diesel heater. Again, this is a popular video every fall and winter. Any update on the heater now that it has been a few months? Yes, so as you can see, partially in response to this comment, I've created a playlist and it has 3 videos so far in it of the diesel heater videos that I've done to date. So if you want to see any other of my videos on the diesel heater, you can check out that playlist. It's the introduction, the quote-unquote field test out in my backyard in a tent, and then another one where it's more my permanent install. I've got a couple other videos coming down the pipeline that I'm thinking about making, so when I finish those, I'll put them up there as well. Oh, but to answer your question, yeah, it's working great. This is what, year 3 on it right now? I haven't taken it apart to clean it yet. I haven't had any problems with it, knock on wood. It still keeps my shop warm to this day. And in this recent cold blitz that we had, where it dropped down to like -9, yeah, I was sitting in here at about 60 degrees. I'll admit, I did do a short stint with the propane heater just to kind of bring it up to temp quicker, but then I shut that down and this thing maintained the heat quite well. Next one on the Ramtrack mount in the Subaru Crosstrek, some T. Castro. Great video and easy to follow. Can you please add links for the mount and accessories for a cell phone? 2021 Crosstrek. Yeah, no problem. So you'll find in the description below of this video, I have added the links to the bar, which I can only find from the Ram site, as well as the variety of Ram components that I've used with that, including the 1-inch A size Ram balls for the tracks, I believe it are, a couple of the arms, a single or dual joint, and the cell phone holder that I've used. So check them out in the links, you can find it, and you can also visit my Amazon store, link here and also in the description. Anything that I've shown on my videos that I would also endorse or recommend buying to others, or things that I've been happy with, I put on that store, and you can find it there. Next from Caleb Roach on the Rallytech engine and transmission skid plate install. Do you think that these actually lower your ground clearance, or is it about the same? This is a great question, Caleb. I regret to say that I did not measure the before and after, but my calibrated eye and memory seems to recall that they're about the same. Nonetheless, even if it was a little bit lower, I would still highly recommend these skid plates, or at least some skid plates. These skid plates, they were okay. There were some other manufacturers that I think make better ones. The reason I would recommend it is because when I've gone even mild off-roading with the Subaru, even on some regular trails, I've gotten a little carried away, went a little fast, and I've banged the bottom of that skid plate on some rocks, and I can confidently say that it has saved my ass, my oil pan, and or my transmission on more than one occasion compared to having had just the plastic ones. So if you plan on doing any off-roading, any kind of having fun with the Subaru, then getting some armor on the underside is highly recommended. Alright, that should be about 10 minutes, give or take. We'll find out in editing. I hope you enjoyed this one. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy holidays. Stay warm out there. Thank you as always for watching. And until the next time, this is Tom the Dilettante saying keep on tinkering and keep on learning. Take care.